Hey, I'm Brian. Welcome back to the Disturbing Illusion channel. Thank you for taking your time to visit this channel. Spend your time, like this video, and share this video if you like it and believe it's share-worthy. Remember, it's still no measure of good mental health to be considered well-adjusted to a profoundly sick society, and there's nobody more profoundly sick than Tim Walz, who just got done saying there's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
The question is, what is democracy, and who, Tim, who, pray tell, is going to define what misinformation is and what hate speech is? Free speech is free for all, or it's not free at all. Now going over to Kamala Harris, she says that just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible.
Responsible behaviors among everybody in the community, and just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible and safe in the way you conduct your affairs.
Have you heard from...
You know what amazes me about a statement like this? Not that it came from Comrade Kamala, but that it fell basically on deaf ears because nobody in the crowd seemed to be shocked. Now, I know this is low resolution. I haven't seen the entire clip. This is all I see of it. But this in and of itself is a violation of the Fourth Amendment, which Kamala Harris and all presidents and vice presidents and governors and senators and congressmen swear to protect, defend, and uphold. You have the right to be secure in your person's houses, papers, and effects. And Kamala Harris says, we have the right to come into your home anytime we want to check and make sure that those firearms are locked up the way they should be, because we're Big Daddy and Big Mama Kamala government. In other news, watch Eric Swallowwell completely lose his mind over kitty memes.
What in the hell is this? The chairman tweets, protect our ducks and kittens in Ohio, because he goes down some crazy rabbit hole, completely debunked that aliens are eating pets. My God, are you okay, Mr. Chairman? Because last year, for a very long time, you tweeted and promoted Kanye West as he was calling for genocide against the Jews, and you kept it up. And now, when we have victims coming here, you're tweeting this nonsense.
I just want to say one thing, and then I'll proceed. But $174,000 a year is the minimum amount we pay for these political parasites. $174,000 a year. Divide that by 2080, which is a regular work year. That's 40 hours times 52 weeks in a year. That's 2,080 hours. And it comes to over $80 an hour, not including the insurance and all the other benefits these senators and congressmen get. And this is what they're doing in Washington's District of Criminals.
I don't know why you would do this. I hope you're okay. I don't know if the aliens who are eating your ducks are in the room with us right now. But, Mr. Chairman, this is a serious issue. These people have loved ones who have been lost, and you tweeted this.
Meanwhile, today, the Federal Reserve further manipulated the free market by reducing interest rates by 50 basis points. I love some of these memes coming out. Very clever. Cat lives matter. Pets for Trump. A lot of memes coming out. Build the wall. Here's cats right now in Ohio trying to escape. I gotta get out of here. And before we get to Thomas Massey's beast mode blistering of both Democrats and Republicans, Peter Thiel-owned J.D. Vance tells Democrats that the left needs to tone down the rhetoric.
The left needs to tone down the rhetoric and needs to cut this crap out. We cannot tell the American people that one candidate is a fascist, and if he's elected, it is going to be the end of American democracy.
Yeah, we can't tell the other side that they're fascists or Marxists or anything like that. Right, DJT?
She's a Marxist. She's a fascist. She's a Marxist, communist, fascist.
socialist. We have a fascist person running. This is a radical left Marxist, communist, fascist. She's a Marxist, communist, fascist person.
She's a Marxist, communist, fascist, economist, dentist, ophthalmologist person. All right, let's get back to Thomas Massey, where he says, can we be honest with the American people about what's going on here? This is political theater.
Can we be honest with the American people about what's going on here? This is political theater. I'm going to call out both sides right here. It's all posturing. It's fake fighting. We all know where it ends up. This is Groundhog Day. I don't care if the Democrat is the speaker or Republican is the speaker. We always get a CR in September, and then we get an omnibus. Sometimes there's a twist on that. We might get the omnibus before Christmas, but if we're not good, it comes after Christmas. But that's what's going to happen. And in the meantime, it's political theater. You know, we've got it's good theater. We've got great writers. I wish they'd just come up with a new plot. It's the same plot every fiscal year. What should we be doing? It's already been discussed. We should have done 12 separate bills. We should have done 12 separate bills. But again, whether Democrats are in control or Republicans are in control, we never do the 12 separate bills. Why do we always spend at least as much as we did last year, and why do we never cut spending? It's because Democrats want to grow the welfare state, and Republicans want to grow the military-industrial complex.
And that's always what it's about. And when they get onto a bipartisan bill, they mix them both. It's welfare and warfare constantly, because that's what makes defense contractors money, and the prison industrial complex money, and the drug war czars money, and the military industrial complex.
And we're eventually going to get together, and they're both going to go up. I guarantee it. And both parties are just fine letting the bureaucrats do their thing, which should be our thing according to Article 1, Section 8 in the Constitution. We are empowered with these things. Most important of the things we do is the funding, and that's the big lever we have. You know, I've sat through now almost 2 years of hearings in this Congress where we've exposed lies at the CDC, shortcuts at the FDA, unconstitutional gun bans at the ATF, over prosecution of January 6ers at the DOJ, targeting common citizens at the FBI, spying by the NSA, illegal mandates for livestock by the USDA, targeting plant vaccine or transgenic plant vaccine at the NSF, and censorship, the censorship industrial complex at the
throwing farmers in jail and fining them for selling raw milk to people who want raw milk. And the list goes on.
Of which the NSF is part of. Automobile kill switch at the DOT. Now, these are all things I think most Democrats are just fine with, this kind of totalitarian state that the bureaucrats are pushing on us. But Republicans at least pretend to be against these things. But what are we going to do this September? We're going to fund every freaking one of those things that we have exposed. That is the tool that we have, is the funding. Why are we funding things we don't like? We don't have to. Well, it's because we're addicted to spending. And this doesn't do anything about the addiction at all. So
before I play more of this, I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican, independent, whatever. Why do we as Americans continue to put up with this nonsense year after year? We know it's nonsense. We might as well call it Washington's District of Criminals, because that's all they do is embroil the entire country in criminality. It's not even run by the 435 in the House and the 100 in the Senate. There's 12,000 lobbyists running around representing special interest groups, and everybody with their hand out getting a handout. When do we stop it?
Let me touch on one point too here that I think is important. Is, you know, a couple years ago, or a summer and a half ago, I suppose now, we did something where we allowed the debt limit to be increased. But as a condition of that, we said if you do a CR that lasts past April 30th, everything's going to get cut 1%. And that, to me, seemed like at least a little tinge of fiscal responsibility was creeping in. But now I notice that this CR, instead of going 1 year and giving us time to do the 12 appropriations bills is going to go 6 months. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen because this goes 6 months. Number one, it ends in March 28th, on March 28th. Well, the automatic cuts happen on April 30th if the CR went past that. So that is exactly why the Speaker chose a 6-month CR, is so we don't have even the chance, a threat to this town, it's a threat of a 1% cut. We don't want to even, this is like T-ball. The 1% cut is on the tee, and Republicans won't even swing at it. So instead, we're going to do a 6-month CR instead of a 1-year CR. That sets up another crisis next spring where we can do another pretend fight sometime around March. And that fight it'll be the same fight regardless of who wins the presidency.
And you never want a good crisis to go to waste. One of the reasons they create crises is so you can get the American people embroiled in the Hegelian dialectic, and that's problem, reaction, solution. Hey, we got a problem. The world's going to explode. Everything's going to end if we don't do the $700 billion TARP bailout. Everybody's going to go broke. We need to get this done and release all these funds. And then you got the fear-based reaction. The American public buys it hook, line, and sinker, as they often do, or a majority of the American public does, and then they step in and provide the pre-planned solution that they had waiting in the wings the whole time. It's a strategy and it's a recipe and it works every single time. And when are we going to come to our senses so that it doesn't work?
And who's in charge of the Senate and the House, and we're basically going to get pretty much the same result. But that's 6 months from now. In the meantime, we can kick the can down the road. All of these things that we've exposed and all of these hearings are going to continue to get funded. But wait, there's a bright, shiny object on this CR. I've never seen one of these. I have never seen a bright, shiny object attached to one of these must-pass bills. Oh, wait, no. It actually happens. There always is a bright, shiny object, a bauble, if you will. A little something to get excited about. This SAVE Act, it's going to save us all, right? And by the way, this is good political theater. I do like this part of it, that we're going to see almost every Democrat cast a vote so that illegals can vote in our elections. I mean, that's pretty clever on the part of our speaker to set that up, make you all take that vote. But here's what he's going to do after you take that vote. He's going to take it off. The bright, shiny object goes away. It's Lucy and the football again. And the American public is all revved up. Yeah, we're going to get to save it. We're going to save these elections. We're going to stop the illegals from voting. Really? How are you going to do that in like 6 weeks? I think they're already registered if they're going to vote. Some of them probably already voted. This SAVE Act ain't going to save anything. And particularly because it ain't ever going to become law. It's a false promise to get all the Republicans half pregnant. And then you're going to get fully pregnant by the end of September when you vote for this CR. That is not going to have this, I mean, I hate to break this to you. I mean, the Democrats already know this. I'm not telling you anything special. I hate to break it to the Republicans. You ain't getting the SAVE Act. It is not going to stay on this bill. Why? Because we're going to cave. We're going to cave. Is it a fight worth having? Absolutely, it's a fight worth having. Make those Democrats say they want illegals to vote. Make them take that vote as many times as you can. And then make them go to the ballot box in November. But that's what it is. It's political theater, folks. We all know where it ends up. We've seen it. I've been here 12 years. I've seen it 12 times. I refuse to be a thespian in this failure theater. And with that, I yield back. Can we be honest?
And that is what it is. It is a failure theater. It's the political dog and pony show under the big top. And that's why we got this channel called The Disturbing Illusion, because it is an illusion and it is quite disturbing. The massive amount of debt, the military war machine constantly being beefed up, the police state, the surveillance state. They're aligning against you, whether you're a Democrat or Republican or independent, it doesn't matter. They are against you. They want to take more money from you and they want to transfer your power from you to them. That's all it is. The more laws they make, the less power you have and the less money you have in your pocket. And the more you're going to have to struggle to make ends meet. And it's all because of the political circus. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to hit the bell notification icon. If you like these videos, give it a like, share it with everybody you know. I know it's severely suppressed over here. I can barely get 3,000 views per video, but maybe that'll change one day. Maybe some common sense will enter into the craniums of people all across the world. I appreciate you guys. If you want to support the channel further, the links are in the description below. Remember, in times of universal deceit, telling the truth, and that's exactly what we need to do, is tell the truth. Telling the truth is a revolutionary act. If the revolution is to begin, and I'm talking about a peaceful revolution, then it begins with us. I will see you in the next video.